What's up, guys, and welcome back. I've been waiting a long time to make this video, and I'm sure there's some of you guys out there been waiting a long time to see this video. So today we're getting the engine back in the mid-engine CRX. What's up, guys, and welcome back. I've been waiting a long time to make this video, and I'm sure there's some of you guys out there been waiting a long time to see this video. So today we're getting the engine back in the mid-engine CRX. This is going to be a multiple part series, but today I'm going to show you how to install some I'm going to show you how to install these Speed Factory titanium eliminator pin kits. It's basically just you take out your 2-part Vtec locking pins and you put in a 1-part Vtec, my bad. Well, these are the Vtec locking pins, but they actually engage hydraulically. So you're going to have this titanium pin that's going to allow some weight to be removed from the valve train. And then you're also going to be always locked into Vtec so that you, this is for mainly a drag race application, but so hope you guys enjoy this video. Stick around. There's a very important modification you have to do to these, so definitely stay tuned and watch till the end of the video so I can show you how to do that. If you skip that step, you definitely might cost you a lot of money. So let's get started. Another thing that's optional is you can or you cannot do a you can do either one. You can do a Vtec Vtec solenoid block off plate. It basically goes over here on the side of the head. This video will work for a B series Vtec head or an 8 series Vtec head. It's basically the same thing. It even somewhat applies to a D series. So right here you'll have your Vtec solenoid. On a B series it'll literally be right here, so you'll have them switched. But this right here, they sell a plate so you can still bypass the oil to the head, which it's really not a big deal. If you're running stock cams, I spoke to Speed Factory themselves, and they said if you're running stock cams and stock springs, it's not a big deal. But you definitely, if you're running some aftermarket cams and springs, you probably want to get that block off plate so you can have all the extra oil coming through these pipes into those cams, which I'm going to explain in just a minute. So yeah, just real quickly, for anybody that hasn't been following along the channel, we had this car out on a road right here local to us in Mexico, and I was testing it, and we had cracked off a 12.2 on my draggy, and we developed a misfire. I wasn't exactly sure what it was, so I had pulled apart the motor, and I found this bent rod right here. You can see that rod is pretty bent up. So that was the reason why we had low compression, because when you bend a rod, it theoretically gets shorter, so your piston doesn't come up as far, and that'll drop your compression. So that is what led us into this motor build, which we're going to go over in the next video. So if you guys aren't subscribed to the channel, definitely subscribe to the channel, because I'm going to show you how to build a monster of an F20B. And then after that, we're going to dyno tune this thing and take it, put it back. We're going to put it back in the CRX, dyno tune it, and we're taking it to Glamis. And we're going to see if we can put some hurting on some sand reels. So let's go ahead and get started on this head. All right, guys, so first step to doing this, There's some other videos out there that you could probably find, but I'll give you a quick rundown how to get to this point. You're gonna have these two bars right here, and there's one on each side. You don't want to get them mixed up. These two bars right here run through the head. Those two holes in the side of the head is where these pipes are gonna slide into, right? There's a left one and a right one, so don't get them mixed up. You're gonna have a bolt just like this. It's like a regular transmission bolt or a starter bolt, and it'll screw into the end of these pipes so that once you take everything out, you'll be able to screw that bolt in there, and then you can pull the shaft out of the head. So once you get that, once you're ready to do that, you're gonna have these little caps right here. They're a 10mm Allen head, and they have a little washer on there, sealing washer. Don't lose that sealing washer. There's 3 of them. There's one right here, and then like I said, if you're on a B series, it's right here. And then there's gonna be 2 on the cam side. So anyways, don't worry about that. Pop those out, and then you'll be able to slide those out. Once you slide them out, be careful because all of your rocker arms are gonna come loose. So what you want to do is keep all the rocker arms in order. You don't want to mix them up because I'm assuming you're going to be using maybe some other stock camshafts or whatever. Either way, you don't want to mix them up. And if you are definitely using the same camshafts that were running on these for a long time, they're going to be worn in to each follower. So you want to make sure you keep them in line with that. Make everything wear evenly. So like I said, once you get these things apart, you can take a socket on this one. There's that little pin right there. And then if you take a little socket and tap right here, you can take anything, but take something and tap on it. Or if that's not working, you can apply some oil pressure. There's a hole right there, so that's what we're gonna do. All right, so off camera I apply a little bit of air to that pin, and you can see now it slid right out. Inside there's a little hole where that rod goes through. You can apply some air right there, and it'll pop that pin out for you. So once you got those 2 pins out, you're gonna go ahead and grab your pin from the Speed Factory bag. These are titanium, they're a lot lighter. We're gonna measure them here in a second and see if, they say you save 8 grams of weight, I think per side or per cylinder, so we'll find out here in a second. Anyways, these are super simple to install. You can start by just putting it in this side if you want, where we just blew that pin out. Obviously you're gonna wanna clean all these, which I'm gonna do in a second. So you take that middle one. Also there's a little pin right here. See that little pin right there? So that little pin goes in this hole right here. It's a kind of a big hole, but when you put that on, make sure you don't have it like that. Obviously you wouldn't, but it's a limiting pin, so it can't go too far. Just slip that on there like that, and then this one, like I said, has a spring behind it. So when you put that one on there, you'll have to push it down, but that's when when you put them in the head, you'll have to push it down. See that spring popping it up like that? So that's that spring that's inside there. So you'll leave that in there. You'll push this one on there like that, and then you go ahead and slip it in the head. So I'm gonna go ahead and put us on a time lapse. I'll put this whole side in, clean it up, and then we'll go from there. Like I said, stick around because you're gonna want to see that oiling mod you have to do to that oil bar. Another thing we'll go over real quick, the LMAs. You can leave them in, you can leave them out. Speed Factory recommends that you leave them out, mainly because it's just gonna aid in wearing out the camshaft. The pressure you're gonna gain from this spring is hardly anything. So you're a lot better to just take less wear on the engine rather than think you're increasing the valve spring pressure or anything like that. According to Speed Factory, that's what they say. So just pull these out, and you'll save some extra weight in the head too. And you know, everyone's trying to save some weight. So you got 8 of these, 4 on each side. Yours might be, some of these are not a spring, they're like a little cartridge deal. It's the same thing. Pull it out, you don't need that. Put those on the side. So let's go ahead and get these cleaned up, put them in there, and I'll show you what it looks like here in a second. There we have it. So check it out. You grab one of these, boop, the L3 move. See that? That's locked Vtec. So if you were wondering, I already had the 2 installed in these. I just hadn't cleaned them up. I was just trying to see exactly how it works. So we got 4 left over there. And now we're gonna go ahead and measure these pins. There's 2 on each one. There's the short one right here and the long one. So another tip, I don't know why I was thinking, you can obviously use a magnet to take them out. They're not stainless steel. I thought they might be, but they're not. So you can pull a magnet and pull them out. Instead of having to use air, that's a lot easier. So let's go ahead and weigh them and see if there's actually an 8-gram difference on these. All right, we got our scale right here. So we'll take a Speed Factory pin, or we'll start with these 2 pins actually. So this is the original pin. Go ahead and put both of those on there. 22.1, 22.2. So that's the factory pin. They claim 8 grams. I don't know if it's per pin or I thought it was per side. Oh yeah, it is. So 13.8. That's actually oh no, that's exactly what they said, I think. So let's see, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So yeah, 8. About 8.3 to 8.4. I think they say 8.3 grams. So it's actually almost 8.4 because let's see. Yeah, see, well, yeah, so 22.1, but it kind of was going up to 22.2. So over 8.3 grams of weight savings. That's just per side. Look at that. That is pretty amazing, actually. This one literally, like, it feels like it's plastic, and then these ones you can clearly tell that they're metal. But this one literally, it feels like a little piece of plastic, like if it's like a toy. So there it is, guys. So that's 16 grams of weight per cylinder. That's a lot of weight. We're gonna wipe off these two little plugs and then put them back in the head. Make sure there's no dirt on them. That'll, if there's any dirt, then all right, next you're gonna want to tighten them up. I don't really know what the torque spec is, but I'm gonna use all right, 28, that's the number. All right, guys, so we're done with that head. We put those Vtec locking pins in there, and now for the most important part. Don't skip this step, especially if you're running aftermarket cams and springs. You definitely don't want to skip this step. So right here, these are what Speed Factory calls the oiling bars. This is what goes right on the very top of your camshafts. When you bolt it down, you'll know If you're doing the head, you'll see what I'm talking about. But if you look on here, you can see that there's these 3 holes on that side, and then there's 1 hole on this side. So these two holes right here are for the Vtec lobe on the cam, and then this hole and that hole are for the regular lobes on the cam. So also, if you look on the back here, you'll see these 2 plugs and these 2 pipes. So these 2 pipes right there, that's where oil runs. One of them is running oil all the time, which is this side. So when you're not in Vtec, oil's coming out of these 3 holes. When you hit Vtec, oil starts coming out of this hole. So if you're not using the Vtec solenoid anymore, you're not going to be getting oil out of this hole to the camshaft. So what you're going to want to do is enlarge this hole right here so that you can equal out the flow. Even if you're running aftermarket Vtec block-off plate that allows the oil pressure to bypass and go into this hole, you're still going to want to enlarge this hole, or even both of them, so that you don't wear out the camshaft, because you're going to be running on that Vtec lobe at all times now. The drill bit that Speed Factory recommends is a 1.96 millimeter drill bit, I believe. I don't know if there's a size on this one, but I measured it out. It came in a little kit I had, and it is exactly the size that they're telling me to drill it. So that's the size. It's pretty small. It's not a whole lot bigger than that hole, but they're just trying to open the hole up. So anyways, the point I'm trying to make is, if you're not using the Vtec solenoid block off plate, there's no point to drill out this hole right here, because if you drill out that hole, no oil's gonna be coming out of it anyways. So when you drill out the hole, you want to drill out the middle one right here on this side, because that's the one that's always going to be getting oil to it. So it's real simple. We're just going to go ahead and drill these couple holes and alright guys, so just like that, we showed you how to put in the Speed Factory titanium locking pins. And then don't forget to drill those holes for the oiling bars. If not, you're gonna be wearing out camshafts left and right. So there's those locking pins installed. Boom, all done there. Don't forget to put your caps in, 28 foot-pounds. Don't quote me on that. Drill out that middle hole like I showed you. And if you're running a block off plate, you can also drill out that one if you want. So that's that. These are the oiling bars. That's the oil mod. That's how you put those pins in. And this is the mid-engine CRX. So if you guys enjoyed this video, definitely drop us a like. If you got something to say, let's hear it. Drop us a comment. If you aren't already, subscribe to the channel, because this is what's going on.